The show made possible in part by the generous support of Juan Carlos Herrera Photography. Anyone can take a picture, but when you need a photo, you call Juan Carlos. Sit down. So, you guests first. No, please, be my guest. No, I insist.
Please, no.
No. You sit.
Just go ahead, man.
Sit down, Bruce.
Go. No, you sit first.
No, you.
It's etiquette.
You're the guest.
It's etiquette.
I shouldn't even be sitting. You should sit down.
No, you go ahead and sit down.
All right, fuck this.
Gosh. Gosh.
You feel better?
Feel great.
Good.
Feel wonderful.
Welcome to Talking With. I'm your host, Yale Cohn. Bruce J. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I've seen your act. A lot of folks have seen your act. They love you. I told folks I was going to talk to you. There's two things that everybody wants to know in this order. What the hell's the matter with you? And where do you buy your underwear?
Well, those are two good questions because, first of all, it's not an act. This is how I really am in life.
I know.
Screwed up. And I'd like to have an underwear store one day because I don't think enough people have underwear. And people could just come to the store and try on underwear and feel underwear, touch underwear, make sure underwear is a part of their lives.
Do people try on underwear?
Well, yeah, you want the right kind of underwear.
What kind of underwear do you wear?
I got on tighty whities.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they tight?
Not that tight, but I like kind of, that snug feeling.
Security.
Security.
What is that? What kind of security is that?
Well, it's like when you had a diaper, when you wore a diaper. And
do we remember diapers?
No, not really, but it's the feeling of a diaper. You just go to the bathroom and you always know when your underwear is dirty.
How often does that happen?
Well, every couple hours.
Okay. What, I don't know. Are you a comedian? Are you a stand-up comic? You do a lot of events. You do stand-up. You've had a career in this. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. People laugh, but I wouldn't say you're a comic. You don't tell as far jokes. There's not.
Come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boys. I'm going to answer all your questions in a song.
But just Billy Idol?
No,
you got to limit it to...
Pour some sugar on it.
We were talking just a little while ago here, where we are, in one of the premier places for stand-up in Iowa City. I am, of course, talking about the Yacht Club. Great open mic every Monday night. But we just did an interview with a young man, Pat Shaver, from the Corridor Business Journal. Want to talk to us. I think he left in tears when you were done with him. He wanted to talk to us about funny stuff, and you kind of vivisected his life. But I've seen you do that on stage, and it's hilarious, and nobody leaves in tears. What is that? Are you, I think to quote myself from this article, I said, you're a tugboat captain of the emotional zeitgeist of the moment. I've seen footage of you from...
Anger Baby. You said Anger Baby.
There was something else, and it was reference to an Anger Baby, but I've seen you before, footage rather of you from a long time ago. You had a more traditional act, jokes and this and that.
Yeah.
But my favorite bits of yours are always the spontaneous, the interaction.
In the moment, in the moment.
With the audience.
You stay right in the moment.
With people that you've dragged in literally off the street when we've worked together at the Bluebird. What is that? Where did that come from?
You just see people, you want to interact, you want to connect, you want to bond, you want to find what's going on in life, the love, the connection, something, looking for the emptiness, trying to find some kind of rarefied air. You're going somewhere, I'm searching, I don't even know what I'm searching for.
How does comedy, how does stand-up, how does performance lend itself to that more than other things?
Because in comedy, you want to be in the moment. You want to be aware of everything. You want to acknowledge everything. You want to, if something happens, squeaking back there with the mop, you want to feel the squeaking of that mop, the shininess of the floor.
How did you get so tuned into that? More so than anybody else I've ever seen. I mean, there's a lot of great comics here in town that do good work with the audience, but you seem to be the master of that. I mean, when things for other comics would be at their worst moment, that's when you seem to be almost be at your finest hour.
Because I like it. I like that uncomfortable. I like the silence.
Uncomfortable for who? For you or for the audience?
I don't know. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for me, and then something happens. Some light comes on in your mind, and maybe you're looking for Jesus or Buddha, Mao Zedong, or Tom Cruise.
Well, does Tom Cruise come to you a lot?
In the movies, when I watch them, I get into them. Social imaginary consciousness. I think I'm Tom Cruise. I'm fighting Tom Cruise.
This scene here.
I'm Scientology and Tom Cruise.
Scientology is a whole nother show. People are bad shit. Now, look, I'll get sued for this.
Scientology is beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Everything is about L. Ron Hubbard.
What, this, I think the Catacombs of Comedy, which is down here in the Yacht Club every Monday night, just celebrated its 3rd year. Started out just a general open mic. Now it's strictly stand-up. It's a great scene. Big crowds, 15, 16, 20, 25 comics a lot of Mondays. Over 100 people oftentimes in the crowd. You've been a part of it for a while. How have you seen this venue grow, the local scene grow? What do you think's behind it?
Well, I think at first it started out as a joke, and now we are the jokes.
Just this venue or the scene? I mean, you're doing stuff, I understand, sometimes in Coralville. There's comedy here, there's comedy at the Mill, there's comedy at Gapes, there's comedy at Bluebird. It wasn't that long ago, there was one night of comedy a week in Iowa City. Now there's probably comedy 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yeah, I think we're tapping into the tragedy of our lives and acknowledging it and knowing we're going to die very soon, blink of an eye. And what am I talking about?
I don't know, the comedy scene locally.
Oh, it seems to be going good.
Is that good?
Well, do we have better linguistics than good?
I mean,
fantastic,
is there
stupendous.
Is there enough audience to support that much comedy?
Yes, there is audience.
Are there enough good comedians to support that much comedy?
We're great. We have to love ourselves. And if we love ourselves, I think we can accept Scientology as something that as a goal for what's the show for?
Do you think that comedians generally spend a lot of time loving themselves? Seems to me they're quite a depressive lot of
comedy,
malcontents and
comedy
broken,
is therapy.
damaged people.
Comedy's therapy, and then you shoot yourself in the mouth. I mean, you
record an album.
Then you record an album and shoot that person in the mouth. Oh, don't talk about shooting.
No, it's too. I don't know. We're not supposed to talk about those things now. Is it too soon? Too late?
Yeah, it's too late.
What? How long you been doing comedy?
Oh, I don't know. 15 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The videos I saw you had like
maybe
a hairstyle and like an earring, and you look like such a
20
bright
years.
Young man. Okay, 20 years.
20 years.
You spent
time. What is time? Einstein says there is no time.
What is it? Time is 3 minutes. It goes by, and an hour goes by in 3 minutes with a good comedian, and 3 minutes goes by like an hour with a hack or something like that. I don't know.
So every minute's like an hour here.
I'm not good with math, but we're good comics. There's a lot of good comics down here. Everybody at home should come down to the Yacht Club Monday nights, 10 o'clock.
We should talk with our hands more.
Well, no, I think we should instead of even having us, we should have just sat on the floor with like sock puppets.
Well, in Scientology, you talk with blocks. A block moves here, so it's very concrete. In Scientology, we move around and think. You don't really like the Scientologists.
I don't know. I just, I'm deathly afraid of getting sued. I don't have any money, but they could ruin us. They could own the Yacht Club by the end of this. What?
Yeah, Tom Cruise is probably watching the show.
I think Tom Cruise watches everything. Isn't he omnipotent?
Yes, he is.
Omniscient?
He is psychic.
Which is a lot for somebody who's, what is he, 5'3"?
I think that...
I've taken bigger dumps than that. What?
I don't even think he's a real person.
No?
No.
Like he's a CGI, like Yoda? Or?
Yeah, I don't think that... I've never met him.
You lived in LA for a long time. You never met Tom Cruise?
Well, I'm a Buddhist. I have to see it for real.
But you didn't like travel in the same social circles?
Actually, I think I'm Catholic.
Okay. But even in LA, you never saw
Or maybe
Tom
a
Cruise.
communist. Who knows what anybody
Okay.
is?
Let's talk about Los Angeles.
Okay.
You were out there for how long?
10 years.
Doing comedy,
Yeah.
making movies,
Yeah.
making television,
Commercials.
commercials. What was that like? You have a good time?
Sometimes it was fun, sometimes it's competitive, and sometimes it's boring, and sometimes you're just lost in the illusion of Los Angeles. You're just dying, and you have no hope, and you're bitter, and you're mad. And then you get a commercial, and you're really happy, and then everything's okay, and you have a trailer, and you eat lots of food, and you have a buffet, and you have a breakfast burrito. You can squeeze oranges, make your own orange juice, and then everything's okay, and then you go back being bitter and sad and lonely and depressed.
That sounds like a pretty good endorsement of show business to me.
Yeah.
What brought you out there? How'd you end up out there?
I don't know, it just seemed like a good place to go. It was warm.
Did you go out there just for because it was warm and then
I think
decided to do
I
the
think I went out
showbiz,
there because it was
or did you
warm.
go out there to do showbiz and the warm was an
I think
ancillary
the warm was
benefit?
a big deal.
Yeah, well,
And you just get into the heat. You know, you like the heat and the beach, and there's rats in the palm trees, and
in the trees.
yeah, the rats crawl up the palm trees and live in the palm trees.
What do they do up there?
It's a good place. You don't see people going up to climb up palm trees to get rid of rats.
I mean, but they live up there. They work on the ground.
The rats,
Yeah.
or the people?
The rats.
Are we talking about people or rats? Is
The
this
actual.
a
This
metaphor?
is no. The actual four-legged rats. They
Yeah.
live in the tree, but they work on the ground.
Um,
I mean, did they go out there for the heat? Breakfast burritos, Friskies orange juice. I mean, if I was a rat in Iowa, I would consider going to California. I've never seen a rat in Iowa.
you never seen a rat?
Not in Iowa.
Yeah, if you hang around by the river, you'll see lots of rats.
Are those rats or muskrats?
No, I think there's rats.
Just regular.
Yeah, you can find rats.
Here in this river in Iowa City.
Yeah, there's a lot of rats.
What was you liked it out there for the heat?
Yeah.
When in those moments when you were doing well and making a trailer, how good a life was that?
It's fun, it's exciting, you're in the moment, you think you're somebody, you think you're gonna accomplish something, you met your goals, and then you find out you're a loser again.
How long did that take? 10 years? Or you just,
Over and over again, just complete,
it's a cycle.
yeah, see, some
How-
kind of Buddhist nightmare.
The other folks who stay at it longer, what's their secret? How do they stay out there longer?
Delusional.
Better
they-
drugs? Better rats?
Better rats, just they want it real bad, they just need it, they need the high from entertainment. You know, you feel a high when you do the show, right?
Not really.
You get really excited, you kind of have things going on inside you, your inner child wakes up and
Do I look
something
terribly excited to you right now?
well, you're letting your excitement come inside, but you're excited to be here, you're excited to be on the stage, you're excited to be in the moment, the right now, this moment, you're excited and you're feeling something.
So you're out there 10 years.
Yeah.
You came back when? You came back why?
About 3 years ago, and I got my leg cut off,
What happened?
stepped on a nail.
How big was the nail?
Very small, but it was enough to create a bad infection.
The whole leg had to go,
The whole leg had to go, yeah.
up to the knee.
Yeah.
What was that like? We've seen it.
Oh. I just like showing it. Yeah. That was traumatic, and I think a lot of this is convalescing. You know,
After the
coming back
fact? Traumatic? Like,
Yeah,
is it
still-
now all of a sudden, I mean, if we're a biped, what are you, like a sequib? I don't know what 1.5 is in Latin, but that much of a ped? I mean, what, after the fact? How, I mean, mobility-wise is traumatic? Psychologically? Hey, where's
in.
this other part?
Psychological, you feel, it traumatizes you to have lose a leg. There's just a lot of things. It's harder to do things now and stuff.
Physically?
Yeah.
Is there like support groups for that, like Limpers Anonymous or Gimpers? I don't know what the term is for it.
Yeah, gimps.
Gimp.
They call us gimps.
What? Where was this nail that you stepped on?
I don't know, somewhere in the house.
Just sticking up out of a floorboard?
I don't know. I don't remember stepping on it. But I was putting my feet up, and then I looked up there, and there was a bunch of blood
That's no good.
in my sock.
So you came back after the fact,
Yeah.
after the surgery.
Yeah.
You're from around here.
Right,
Where
Cedar
you
Rapids.
from?
Cedar Rapids.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
What was that like, growing up in Cedar Rapids?
We killed a lot of Indians.
Yeah.
They were there by the river, and we killed them, and then took their land.
But now
Wait, that's another person's memory. I'm sorry.
But they're going to be putting a casino there though, so I guess
Yeah.
they win in the end.
Yeah, they get wins, they get losses.
What Cedar Rapids? What was it like when you were growing up there? What was it like for somebody maybe like you?
No, it was fun. It was fun. It was a good time.
So 20 years you did in comedy. I mean, how old were you when you started?
Maybe like my late 20s.
Okay, so you weren't these young prodigy comics, high school, college
No,
age, that kind of
I
thing.
was just living my destructive life.
Just doing it. What led you to it the first time?
I don't
Go
know,
up
you
on
just want to
stage.
go on stage. It seemed fun and exciting. And
Was it?
yeah, self-expression and learning new things, learning about yourself. It's kind of therapeutic.
How long were you doing it before you went out to LA?
About a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Not that long.
Yeah.
What was the response? People who knew you, people who didn't know you. What was your response locally out here? I mean, now you're well known, kind of a say elder statesman, but a respected figure on the local scene. People admire what you do. They watch you. What was it like though back then? Just like, oh, who's this guy? Bruce J. Never heard of him. This young guy with the earring.
In the beginning, it's hit and miss because you fall in love with something. You go on stage, you think it's so funny, and then you realize it's not so funny.
A bit or an act or you?
Yeah, a bit, a joke, and you think, wow, this is the greatest thing. I'm going to be George Washington on stage talking to my shoes, and then nobody laughs, and you're like, that was terrible. I don't know why I did it, but you fall in love with your concepts, and then you learn not to fall in love with them and let things go and listen to the audience, and the audience tells you what's funny.
Was there ever a time between when you started doing comedy and now that you weren't?
Funny?
Or, well, that's I guess for somebody else's side, but a time that you weren't doing comedy.
Yeah, I didn't do comedy for a while. When I was in Los Angeles, I was getting some commercials, TV shows, and little movie things, so I just didn't do it. It takes up a lot of time. You hang out at clubs a lot.
Now you're doing it back here, you perform around locally, various showcases, but this is an open mic here, Monday nights. What brings you down here almost every Monday, it seems like?
It's the best show in Iowa. Best show.
Why is that?
Because there's a lot, Iowa City people, they tend to be a little bit more eclectic, and there's a lot of good energy down here, a lot of camaraderie with the comics.
Between the comics and the audience, or between the comics themselves?
All of it, comics with the audience and the comics with themselves. And
We were talking about that when we had this interview with the newspaper just before this, that you thought that was a function of it since it's not such a competitive thing.
Yeah.
There's not, somebody succeeding isn't at the expense of somebody else.
yeah,
You think that's a function of the market? You think that's an Iowa thing? Iowa nice, what is that?
both of those, a function of the market, and then Iowa niceness, community kind of
I mean,
vibe.
maybe there's comics that are not in love with somebody else's act, but I've never heard any comics say a bad word about other comic down here. Local scene.
Right, everybody's really positive.
Who have you enjoyed seeing down here since you've been coming down for a couple of years now?
You, Gail Cohn, Tom Garland, Bobby Ray Bunch, Sean McGee, Daniel Frana.
Is it Frana? Frana?
Because at Fauna,
It's
Frana.
his name. His last name is like a
Frana.
USB port.
Frana.
It's always wrong. Whichever you say,
No,
Frana or
it's Frana.
Frana.
No, it is Frana because fauna.
Flora
if you say fauna,
and fauna.
fauna,
Put an R in
Frana.
there. Frana.
Frana.
Those are good comics. Jake Febra
Jake
just released an
Febra.
album, Balls Deep in Jesus.
Yeah.
Filthy, blasphemous, hilarious piece of work on shelves I don't know where they would sell that kind of a thing, like at a methadone clinic.
He'll be selling it down here at the show, I'm sure.
Okay, he'll just have them strapped to himself.
Yeah,
He'll
he'll
just peel one off.
Like a bomb.
Except in the comedic sense of that. Like
Right. He won't be
bombing.
even though he'll be a bomb.
Yeah. But when you see folks, because like there are, and thank you for the nice words, a handful of folks come down here frequently, semi-frequently, often enough when they can. But one of my favorite things, anyway, come down here on open mic night, see folks I've never seen before. Some of them are great, some of them not so great. That's the function of the open mic. No one's expected to put on a world-class show here. What do you see? What do you like when you see somebody new for the first time? Is it just that they're doing it for the first time? Is it something you like? I mean, what is it?
The accidents that happen, the joy they have when they do it, and
you see joy in these people.
Yeah, there's something. They're saying something, and then people laugh, and then it's fun.
Validation.
Yeah, it's fun. They're saying something. They're saying, "Look, I hate my mother." We all hate our mother. There's joy. There's joy. You see joy in people's faces a lot of times.
We see that, but I mean, what do you
They're
think?
overcoming something. It's like this one woman that did it. What's her name? With the rose in her hair. She said that was on her bucket list.
Okay. To do what? To hate her mother?
No, to do comedy.
And so now.
And then she did it. She accomplished it, and it was like she.
If you finish your bucket list, though, are you then like obliged to take your life? How does that work?
I don't know. Ever since that movie, The Bucket List, came out, everybody has.
Which I'd never even heard of that term before the movie The Bucket List.
Yeah, but it's now it's in
our vernacular.
Yeah, bucket list. Now we say bucket list.
Do you have a bucket list?
To live for tomorrow.
What is even like from whence the bucket? I mean, where does even a bucket? I'm trying to get to the etymological.
Because you're just about to die, and then what do you want to do? You want to race a fast car.
Yeah, but where does a bucket come into it? Like you have a bucket full of like lists, or where's the bucket in the bucket list?
Maybe kick the bucket.
I don't know. After the show's
rabbit
over,
kicked the bucket.
He
kicked his bucket, but before he kicked the bucket, he filled it with something.
He did his list. I'll call Morgan Freeman when we're finished taping.
And the bucket list.
What when people come down here to an open mic like this, how is this open mic different than other ones you've seen locally or elsewhere?
It's really organized, and Tom Garland keeps it organized and
keeps it moving, smooth.
Yeah. There's organization to it. Instead of just everything we don't know what's going on, and everything's chaos.
Oh, no, it's tight. I mean, he's got his little list, and he's crossing it, checking it twice. He's like the Santa Claus on, ADD meds of comedy. But
you need an organizational person.
Promotional
Otherwise,
person.
It's just
and it's good crowds down here.
Yeah, good crowds.
I mean, there's sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 125 people down here. On a
nice
Monday,
bartender, Forrest.
Great bartender. I mean, who are these people that are in a bar on a Monday night? God bless them. I'm not going to make judgments, but we're glad they're out here.
Nerds, geeks, losers, like us.
Yes.
All us nerds, geeks, and losers that watch the show.
Come join us at the Yacht Club every Monday at 10.
Because we're nerds, geeks, and losers.
Who hate our moms. But,
And love our moms.
You talked about that, and that's, I think, one of the things we'll agree on, disagree on, like the uniformity. People enjoy comedy. They laugh. It's fun. It's revelation. It's a shock. It's it's epiphany. It's I recognize that in myself. But a lot of what fuels comedy, which comedy is of course funny, is angst, sadness, depression, isolation, misery, anger. How did comedy become an outlet for that? And what would happen? What would happen if there was no stand-up comedy and you had all these miserable people walking around with all this shit bottled up inside of them? A lot of shootings.
You'd have a lot of some of the other countries in the world that don't do comedy.
So we'd be like,
I'm not going to say anything because that will be. I don't think that's the right thing to say. But there are countries that don't do comedy.
They don't have comedy.
They don't have comedy.
There's no guy
there's
at
no
a little
self-expression. There's nobody
at a hookah
saying,
bar saying, "Oh, did you hear the one about Muhammad?" There's not.
Or the dictator.
Really?
A lot of those countries have dictators too.
Yeah.
You don't really want to talk about the dictator.
No, because
your whole family's house will get blown up
with the family in it.
Yeah.
And then the dictator eats your tongue. But where does American comedy rank with other countries that do have comedy? Then don't have the dictators.
I don't know. It's probably the best country. Maybe England.
Opportunity. I mean, I'm not saying
Ireland,
senses
England.
of humor are the same. Irish comedy, Colin Ryan, very
Irish
talented
are
guy.
funny. Yeah, Colin Ryan. Irish are always funny.
But do they have the same opportunity that people have here? Like we were talking before, somebody sees you, all of a sudden they like your look. You're in a commercial. The commercial goes to national. Hey, you're fresh squeezed orange juice overnight. Can that happen elsewhere, or is that here because of Hollywood?
Oh, what? It can happen elsewhere. Look at the guy, the horse guy, Sai,
Horse guy.
from Korea. Sai,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
yo, hey, yo, psycho, hey.
Well, and then we should, you and I should record a dance video, I think.
Yeah, Sai.
So, young people watching this, you know, our show comes on right between Power Rangers and Manchichi, Saturday mornings. Young people who are thinking about doing stand-up, come down to an open mic, this open mic, another one. Tell them why they should, tell them why they shouldn't.
You should come down because it's therapeutic. You release anger. You release a lot of tension. Why shouldn't you?
Why should you not want to become a comic? Stay in dental school, marry a rich guy.
You'll never
join
make
the
money.
army.
Very few people make money. And it's just competitive, and you always have to be funny. At some point, it has to turn into a business if you wanted to make money. And then it's hard because you always want to entertain the crowd. You have to respect the crowd.
You also got to advance the size of your crowd. Get
Right.
out there in front of all these people.
You have to be a business person at some point to make money.
Just pushing it,
Yeah.
getting it out there.
Yeah.
So the folks that do want to come down, you know, I would never give anybody advice on, you know, what do you say? What is funny? How are you funny? How am I funny? I don't know. People laugh at us. Okay, good, we're funny. But I will I will advise people, hey, breathe, stand in the light, find your little technical stuff. You
Right,
know?
right.
What if at all, people come to you, you've been doing this a long time, what do they say? Hey, Bruce, what do you think of my set? They ever ask you for advice, for thoughts, for this, for that? If so, what kind of kernels of wisdom do you pass on to them?
Well, you follow the basic principles, premise, setup, punchline. Everything comes in threes. You build things up. You tag things. You have a character. You act things out on stage. You move around. You always want to work on your timing and your delivery. There's skill and craft. Everything's skill and craft.
And what's the best way to do that? Practice, do it.
You practice. Always look for material. Always try new things. Try different styles. Try impressions. You watch other people and you learn things from them. And it's timing. A lot of things are timing. You have a joke. And
All right, we're
then
just
you have a
about out of
punchline.
time. One more question. Who does your hair?
My winter hat does my hair.
Bruce J., thank you for sitting down with us. Come see him down here almost every Monday night at the Yacht Club, Catacombs of Comedy, right here on Lynn Street in downtown Iowa City. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with graphic artist and cartoonist extraordinaire, Josh Carroll. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.